What's up, everybody? Welcome back to My Twisted Life TV. I'm Poetry. You are here for another recap and review of Ready to Love. This is season 6, episode 3. Sparks will fly or fizzle. One of the two. Ain't doing a lot. It's not doing a lot. I personally am missing something real quick. I'm trying to get my notes pulled up here. I'm giving y'all this recap and review right now before y'all get into y'all Super Bowl, so it would not have any edits going on. I'm not feeling these couples this season, y'all. I'm not really liking too much of anybody for the most part. So on this particular episode, we got more blind dates. Evidently, every week, 2 new people gonna come in. Okay, so we have the blind date with Dakia and Eric. They both can connect over cancer. Eric's dad or his uncle was a cancer survivor, and he just now moved back from New York. Dakia is a cancer survivor. And see, he's a preacher's kid. They talked about having children. He already has two grown adults, basically a 22-year-old and a 18-year-old, I think it was. Dakia, she doesn't have kids, and she's not even sure she really wants kids at this particular time. They seem to vibe. They liked each other. Then there was AP and Clifton. Clifton don't want to go on this date. He only going because it's part of the process. I've heard Clifton say, I'm only doing this because it's part of the process so much on this show. Like, why are you here? Why are you here? If you are only just going through the motions just because of the process, but you're really not genuinely trying to get to know anybody else other than the person you first laid eyes on, you could have did that on the streets of DC on your own, bruh. Okay, anywho. And AP says Clifton looks like her brother. We had some individual dates. One with Sabrina and Paul. They are too much alike in Sabrina's eyes. He's very ambitious. He's very driven. But she don't see where he has a chill moment. She don't think that he can Netflix and chill if he tried, because business is always on his mind. And for that, she don't think they're compatible. Clifton and Joy, again, they too much alike to me. Joy laughs at everything, y'all. Everything. You would think that somebody's happiness, somebody's expression of joy always, just put you in a good mood. It doesn't. She laughs at every fucking thing. An ant can crawl across the place. Did you see that ant? Oh my god! I ain't never seen them move that fast before in my life. Joy laughs at everything. Everything is just to her. It just gets on my fucking nerves. And Clifton is always spewing sexual innuendo. Again, they remind me of London and Divine from previous season 2, I believe it was. Then we had some group dates. It was a pass and paint date. There was Joy, Eric, Dakia, Cornelius, and Ace. I thought that the seating arrangement was off. I'll talk about that a little later. And Eric seems to lead when he's a chef. I don't know. He's always spewing sexual innuendos as well. Then we had a group date where they were on a tour bus. I thought it was one of the stupidest dates ever. Wiley was chopping it up with the new chick AP. She said he gave great conversation, but he too young for her, and he reminds her of her students. I was like, child, you ain't even been a professor long. You was only a professor for 3 years. You ain't even a professor now. Okay, something you did yesteryear. You probably wasn't even a real professor. You probably was a substitute teacher or a teacher's aide, something like that. Anyway, what's up with them not using their real names? First we got Ace not using her real name, and now we have this chick want to be called AP. Anywho, the tour bus was Demetrius, Wiley, Sabrina, AP, and Tori. Tori did not get sexual with Sabrina. Shows me he likes her. I think he respects her a little bit, that he doesn't want to throw her off with his sexual innuendo. All the rest of them, he probably want to hit it and quit it. Anyway, ladies lounge. And Carmen is in there, and she feels that her date with Laverne went really well. So that's what she tells Tommy, which is contradictory to what she ended up saying at the end of the episode. Like I said, where was I at? Ladies Lounge. Ace said that it was just nice to meet Cornelius. Just nice. Again, her words don't match what her previous words said or her actions either. it seemed like she was all into Cornelius, especially during that conversation. She was really, surprised and happy with the fact that he went through therapy and he did the work. That's like the common phrase this season. Ever since Aisha last season, this season, I did the work. I did the work. What work did you actually do? Let's talk about the actual work that you did. At least Aisha was able to break down what she actually did as far as her progress in doing the work. These people say, I took off a year from dating. I did the work. I had time to just think about myself and time to heal. I really put in the work. I went and talked to a therapist one time, and I really put in the work. I did it. I did the job. From somebody that's been in therapy for many years, it's not no overnight fucking process. It's not an overnight process. It ain't gonna happen in a few months or a few days or even a year. Going to therapy and really getting help and work on shit that you've been through in life, things that some habits that you have based on traumas, based on other just outside experiences, not necessarily anything that was traumatic, but learned behaviors. It takes more than just flicking a bucket, motherfucking fuck it. Therapy is work. It's lifelong. Yet some people go through fucking lock journeys longer than they go through real life mental therapy journeys of health. You know what I'm saying? So I went to therapist. Like, that's like a new pickup line in dating these days. It really annoys the shit out of me. Anywho, Ace gives off this personality that's so much different than when we see her interact with men. When she's in her confessionals, she's all bubbly and light, and I think that's why people really draw to her. A lot of the women viewers who watch her, they really draw to her because of that lovely and biting, attitude that she has. But when she's with the men, she's like a social awkward person to me. That's what I see. But like I said, when I watch her on social media, Ace is all about she acing the place. You know what I'm saying? She lives that pseudonym, Ace, okay? She has a very different energy than what she actually gives off when she's with these men. When she's hanging with the ladies, her energy is so different than when she's on an individual date with these men. I don't know, when she's with them, she's like, ooh, okay, that's the type of, it's just something that just really throws me the fuck off. Anyway, I think Ace is flighty as fuck. Okay, she has a two-sided personality. She's a Gemini. Her twins have twins. Okay, and I seem to be seeing every side of her that most people aren't seeing. And I don't just see this. I'm all just peace and her, grease and love, and stuff like that. I'm just not buying it. She turns that on when she's needed. I don't know. Whatever. But is it just me, or does Precious remind y'all of Bambi? Y'all know who Bambi is. She started off on Real Basketball Wives. She started off there, then she ended up on Love and Hip Hop. She ended up with Scrappy. Bambi. That's who Precious reminds me of. They even sound alike. So I wonder if Precious is originally from LA. I do not remember. I remember I did the casting special myself. I researched them, but I didn't go to deep dives on most of these people. I don't remember if Precious is originally from LA, but she sounds just like Bambi. And so, shout out to the person, oh my God, I can never remember. The one who told me what Demetrius's last name was is Cattle or Battle or one of them two. She peeped it on one of his uniforms and one of his pictures. I missed all that. So big ups to that, because I know my casting special, I'm saying I don't know what Demetrius' last name is. I believe it's Cattle off of his uniform. So in the lounge, let me get back there if I'm there. Am I there yet? So we go to the lounge, and in the lounge, like I said, Tommy tells the ladies he's going to bring in 2 new people. What it seems like to me is he's going to eliminate 1, bring in 2, eliminate 1, bring in 2. I bet he's going to stop when he hits 20 people. 20 is the magic number that they normally have. When we get to 20 people, I don't think we're going to see any more blind dates, right? He wants to set the ladies up on these dates, and he wants them to do something that is unapologetically them. And I was like, Joy, girl, because she went on one of these dates, you live, breathe, and die music. It's in your blood. It runs through your veins. And you take Cliff out to eat. Y'all don't go enjoy something music-wise? Y'all go out to eat. I didn't get that. Sabrina, she is very much into her black heritage, even though she's a Latina as well. She's an Afro-Latina. She's very much into her black heritage, supporting her culture and things of that. So that bus tour is something that I could see Sabrina doing, because it's basically a black, it wasn't just black research, but it was a tour and it threw in some black elements. But I could see Sabrina be into that stuff. Dakia did the sip and paint, or the pass and sip, or whatever. Drinking wine is her unapologetic thing. We see her with the wine glass in her hand in every doggone screenshot, baby. Every last one. She always pointed up. So maybe, I doubt that. Yeah, whatever. Anywho, I don't know who set the bowling date up. I thought it was one of the men. I thought it was Paul who set the bowling date up. It seemed like it was Paul's thing anyway, not the ladies. Anyway, I noticed Carmen didn't have her baby blue eyes in this week either. And I find that interesting when we go to Deliberations at the end, to make that a point that she did not have those blue contacts in. Okay, so I'm going to be very superficial for a moment here. Y'all can mind me or y'all don't. I don't care. Okay, so, like I said, Joy. Laughing at every fucking thing. Every fucking thing is annoying to me. Everything ain't funny. At first I thought she was just laughing at everything that Clifton said. No, she laughs at everything. Tommy saying, we gonna send y'all on some blind dates. Oh my God, we gonna get one. Yeah. Okay. Everything she laughs at. I was so happy that her and Clifton had their individual date, because we finally got to see her stop laughing and being funny all the fucking time. Because I do not take her laughing and being funny all the time as being just the way she is. I see it as a coping mechanism so that people can't get too close or too deep with her, so she won't have to be too fucking vulnerable. So she makes everything a goddamn joke, and it annoys the shit out of me. I think it's J Dubs. Watch his channel too if y'all not already doing so. He talked about the fact that she said, and that's what she said in one of the comments when it was just making some sexual references or whatever. Okay, Joy is a person that has supposedly dated Walter from last season. And remember, Walter said that all the time. So that's probably a habit that they picked up from one another. But again, Joy says she wasn't the one who was supposed to be coming on as the ex for the ex dates. But anyhow, yeah, that's why she says that. But she tried to make everything a joke. I think she's scared of being vulnerable. So I was really happy when they did that that date between her and Clifton, and they got into a subject matter that really made her break down. When they start talking about her dad and the love that she had for her father, the fact that he passed away and he's no longer with her, and how he was her leaning tower of strength, and she's a daddy's girl, that really softened Joy up in my eyes and not made me look at her like, cut all the fucking foolery out, girl. That moment right there, really, because even when, even when Clifton sat down to eat, I know I just skipped all over the place. He sat down to eat and he took a bite of her food. She likes sharing her shit with people. He eat off her spoon, drink out her glass, probably drinking her bath water too. When she shared her food with him and realized that it had coconut in it and he's allergic to coconut, she even made that a laughing matter. Don't die on me, Cliff. Don't die on me. He's like, oh, I'm going to see you, Elizabeth. You know, they laugh and joke. They are such the same person in that respect, in that regard. And let me tell you, just looking at Clifton's Instagram and his live streams, this person that we see in front of us is so not how he normally represents himself. This is a dialed down version, even though he makes a lot, he flirts a lot, he always making a lot of sexual references. He made a lot to Joy doing this, and she just She just laughed and giggled at this shit. That is not the person that he presents himself to be on his live streams that he's been doing for years. He's rude as fuck. Okay, he has no filter as fuck. This softer, cuddly bear, grizzly bear, teddy bear type side that we seen on her, that ain't who he normally is. It's not. Or you may say his Instagram personality ain't what it normally is. But he was doing that long before this show came along. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about that. Anywho, I also hate the way that Ace talks. She talks with her head back like she just took a sniff and she refused to exhale that shit. Whatever grade of kush she on, she is not letting that shit out until the camera stop rolling. It annoys me to see her talk like that, right? I told you I'm being petty right now. I'm being superficial for a moment. Precious, her unit with that low part, her that unit girl, retire it. Retire it, sis. Retire it. You are cute. You know, you have a beautiful face. I like Precious's whole vibe for real, y'all. I think she's a bit naive, a bit gullible, especially when it comes to Paul. I think she's looking for a daddy figure, and she sees that in Paul. She says Sabrina had mentioned, with Paul that, he's too driven and too ambitious and doesn't know how to need to have fun. And she wants somebody that's going to balance her and tone her down because she's that same type of person. And Precious was saying that, what you're saying about him is true, but I need that because I'm kind of ditzy sometimes, I need somebody to set me straight sometimes, you know what I'm saying? She looking for a father figure. She looking for a splendid tender. Paul is so full of fuckery, it just don't make no damn sense. So what she sees in Paul, his age number, she sees that as a sign of maturity instead of really seeing and listening to how this man moves. Okay, anywho, who else I was talking about? Dakia, her front teeth. Either she used to suck her thumb when she was little, she sucked a lot of penis coming up, or her front teeth fake. It's one of the three. It's one of the three. The way that her teeth are positioned, the way her tongue hits the back of her teeth when she talks, like she doesn't have a lisp yet, but she can get there. It could have been one, and it triggers me when just listen to her talk, y'all. Something about her speech pattern betwixt the teeth bothers me. I know it's superficial. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Sabrina is my favorite. But I'm still expecting her to be my pop-off queen. I do. And like I said, the only reason why is because she's short. Because I'm short. Short girls have a tendency to be a bit fiery at times. I'm waiting for it. She's going to be emotional, I believe, at times. When in places where she probably a little over-emotional. Because I think her feelings are going to get caught up quick. Because like I said, Sabrina is a pretty serious person. So if she gets with somebody that she's vibing with, that she allows herself to open up with, she's going to fall fast. She's going to fall quick. All the other ladies, y'all, I really could care less about them. Like, serious. One way or the other. I already can't stand Miss Blue Eyes. Her whole vibe just throws me off. There's something about AP that just I'm not getting either. Who else we got? Joy, Dakia, AP, Sabrina, Carmen, Precious. We already lost Tiffany. We already lost Nina or Kina. I don't know if it's somebody else I missed, and I apologize. Anyhow, the date with Eric and Dakia, like I said, it went over pretty well. They were able to, now she recognizes his necklace, and it represents what he does for a living as a chef. He talked about that briefly. They talked about their cancer experiences briefly. She's really feeling him. She's really into him. She said later on in Deliberations that she had her eye on Clifton and Demetrius. They were her top two. But somehow, Eric just kind of like stepped over them just a little bit, just a tad bit scotchy day. He in her favor. Clifton and AP met up at this vegan spot. He was not happy about it because he is clearly not vegan, as he said. She picked the spot, but she got something that was too damn spicy for her. She must have got the spicy tuna. And Cliff was like, he liked the spice. It was good to him. The person who didn't want to go there, he thought the food was good. The conversation got real awkward when she said it. You remind me of my brother. Clifton was like, I wasn't really feeling her romantically anyway. Clifton, you came in the door not ready to feel her romantically, bro. Let's just be honest. You came in the door not ready to feel her romantically. But the fact that, you know, you look like her brother makes her cooch dry. So she nothing into you. So then we go to a group date. So Dakia invites Clifton, Ace, Joy, Eric to this group date. They go to a paint and pass type of thing. I thought the seating arrangement was horrible. You got 2 men, 3 ladies. Why not put a woman, man, woman, man, woman, so that way everybody could enjoy each other's conversation and not feel like they're missing out. Clifton was at one end, so first he was down there next to Ace. I didn't even really see them talking. I know they was chit-chatting back and forth a little bit, but I don't think no real serious conversation was going on between them two. Eric was sitting down here at the end with Joy and Dakia. Eric had his eye. No, did I do that wrong? First, it was Clifton sitting down there by Joy, and Eric was sitting down there by Ace. Ace and Eric was having a conversation. They were. Clifton was down here talking to Joy. She just giggled at everything again. She thought he was cute. She thought he was nice. She thought he was a good-looking man. But later on in Deliberations, her whole vibe had changed as well. It's what I'm saying. What y'all saying about these men in the confessionals or saying to their face don't match what y'all say in Deliberations. These ladies are a bunch of liars. You know, Joy was like all over it. She thought that he was a nice dude, this, that, and the third. When they did the switcheroo, then Eric came down there and sat by Joy, but he said he had his eye on her. He wanted to get to talk to her. He knew that he liked Dakia, but Joy was looking some kind of right down there at the end of the table, right? He liked her vibe, he liked her energy, this, that, and third. Now, what I do appreciate about Dakia is even though that Eric was sitting on the end down there talking to Joy, Dakia interjected herself. She made sure she was part of that conversation. She said, you know, even though I got my eye on other people, I'm going to make sure you know that I'm still interested in you. And I know that you're talking to her right now, but hey, boy, hey. That's what Dakia was doing. So, but in the middle of it, she pulled Clifton away to have a conversation with him. Baby, Clifton was down there painting pictures of his dead cat named Pimp. He even had a whole spiel for people who don't like cats, because you know in Egypt we worship cats and this, that, and the third, and you ain't in Egypt right now, first of all, dog. But I don't know what to say about Clifton. I think I said it the first episode. I didn't like Clifton. I didn't. But Dakia goes down there to have a conversation with him. They're talking about their likes, their dislikes. They talked about having children again. Now, she wasn't as enthusiastic about this question with him as she was with Eric. You know, with him, she was like, with Eric, she was like, you know, I consider it. I'm getting up there, but it's something that, you know, is on my mind. With Cornelius, I keep calling him Clifton, didn't I? Cornelius. With Cornelius, she was like, nah, I don't think I want no kids. Yeah. And he's quite certain, Cornelius is certain that he wants to have children. The thing is about Cornelius, though, is that anytime somebody talks about a relationship, commitment, long term, not even marriage this time, he's like, oh. You remember, that's the reason why he didn't like Precious. Not Precious. Tiffany and Precious kind of look alike, so I keep getting them confused, so apologize for that. Clifton and Cornelius, both big dudes with the name again with C. So, you know, maybe I just keep calling him Cornbread again, I remember. So anyway, so he goes down there and he's talking to Dakia, and she says that she wanted to have, for her to have children, she wanted to have a husband first. And he was like, she started talking about, like, she wanted to be commitment. And, you know, that was a turn off for me. What the fuck are you on the show for, Cornbread? Why are you here? This show is not, you know, ready to date. It's ready to love. And long-term commitments normally come with love. I don't understand why you're here at all. He got on my nerves. I was like, send him home. Please send him home. Send him home quick. You know, everybody thinks that he's a big, nice guy. He's really interesting, really intriguing. But they feel no vibe with him. That's because he don't want to be in a relationship. and y'all here potentially trying to be in a relationship and hopefully find love. But that ain't what Clifton want. Go back to your YouTube channel, bro. Just go back to doing that. And, you know, maybe something happened for you in some kind of funky little way. I just don't know. So next up, we go on to this group date. Child. A tour bus group date. Again, it's Sabrina, Tori, is that where we go next? No, first we go on the solo date with Sabrina and Paul. Like I said, she's really intrigued by him. But again, Paul is too intense, just like her. And she tell him flat out, bro, you're not the one for me. And he said hurt by that because he really wanted to get to know her. But this is my thing, Paul. If Sabrina was somebody that you really wanted to get to know, and you were listening to the words that are coming out of her mouth about how intense you are and that she doesn't believe that you can let your guard down and just be free and have fun, and you really want to be with this woman, then show her that you could be that person if that's who you are. But if that's not who you are, then yeah, sit back and say, all right, girl, go ahead and go your own way. You can go your own way. I understand. So yeah, basically she shut him down. Okay. So after that, that's when she goes on this group date and they take this tour bus ride. This was the most pathetic date I've seen in a long doggone time. It was kind of worse than that biking bar date that they did. Okay, so it gets on this bus, right? It's a van, really. It's not even a bus. Who gets on first? Sabrina gets on first to the bus. AP gets on next. AP sits in the second row. Sabrina sits in the third row. Tori comes on and sits across from Sabrina. Demetrius gets on the bus, walks past AP, walks past Sabrina, and sits in the last row by himself. Wiley gets on and asks AP, is it cool for me to sit here? She say yes. But truthfully, she is upset that Wiley sat there. Because who does she have her eye on? Demetrius. She's like, I'm just kind of upset that Wiley sat here and Demetrius always sitting in the back. And that's who I want to be talking to. That's who look good to me. Two things could happen, man. One, you could have stopped him on his way to the back of the bus and said, would you like her to sit next to me? Or three things. Two, you could have got your ass up and went and sat next to him in the back of the bus. Or you could have stopped Wiley from sitting there. Oh, four things. Fourth one, Demetrius could have stopped and sat there. There was a whole seat in front of you. There was a whole seat next to you before Wiley got on the bus last and sat down. If you really wanted to interact with Demetrius, then you should have found some way to do it. He's supposed to read your mind. He's supposed to know that you're interested in him. This is your first time meeting him. Your first time ever seeing him. So Tori and Sabrina, they was really vibing on the bus, having a nice little conversation about cherry blossoms and things like that. Sabrina says that these three men are the ones that she's attracted to the most. She's attracted to Wiley, she's attracted to Tori, she's attracted to Demetrius. Very three different looks of men, but three different vibes of men too. But that's what she's attracted to the most. And we come to find out later on that it's really Demetrius out of all of them. He listened to her when she talks, you know. It's just not superficial conversation. And she says that he could be fun and everything as well. But what she's exactly looking for, her balance, what she's looking for. So AP is like, you know, Wiley giving me the conversation, but he 10 years younger than me. Ain't nothing I can do with that. Nothing I can do with that at all. Okay. AP is all over the place now I think about it. She goes on another group date with Laverne, Joy, Ace, and Paul. Demetrius goes too, right? Demetrius goes too. Yeah, Demetrius goes too. They go on this other group date. So is Ace there? Wait a minute, I'm confused. I thought Ace was there. Maybe it's just AP and Joy that's there. They go on this bowling date. Laverne's fascination with somebody touching his ass. That's the only thing that I could take away from this date. In actuality, this bowling date happened before the tour bus date. Joy, she's fascinated with Laverne too. She likes to go back and forth with people. Like I said, Joy does not like to get deep with people. She likes the superficial mentality of Laverne. She's there for it. She's here for it. But she didn't want to grab his ass. Paul, like I said, he doesn't know how to have fun. Nobody asked your ass to teach me how to bowl. I mean, they took up some tips from him and everything like that. But he trying to give ladies all this instruction. You know, if we playing teams, then okay, cool, maybe. But he seems like somebody to get upset if you don't listen to him. I like bowling though. That's one of my fun times. I love bowling, and I'm not all that good at all. I'm like Joy though. I'm listening to you. Okay, you know, if I fuck up, I'm gonna blame it on you. But if I get it, that was all me, bro. It was all me. But like she said that she loves conversation with Paul. She likes talking back and forth with him. But it's so different than what y'all was saying in Deliberations. Demetrius was there, but they really didn't show Demetrius interacting with the women at all. So when like we go to that tour bus type of thing too, Demetrius sat in the back and did not engage at all. And Sabrina picked up on that. Sabrina was like, you know, this is kind of an awkward date for me. I'm glad that all three of these men are here, but I'm sitting here having this conversation with Tori, and Demetrius is right there. He's not engaging at all. He's not involving himself in the conversation, which is one of the things that I said I had liked about Dakia on the paint party thing. Even though Eric was sitting there talking to Joy, Dakia found a way to interject herself into that conversation and still be a part of it, still be engaged in the conversation. But that ain't Demetrius, because Demetrius wants these women to chase him. He wants these women to fawn all over him. And that's probably why we didn't see much interaction with him at the bowling alley, because Joy was all up on Laverne, AP was in Paul's face. And but this must have been where AP must have got her attraction for Demetrius. And maybe it's something that they just didn't show us in this particular case or what have you, right? So, give me a break, no one. Okay, I was trying to wait for my dog to stop barking because he started getting just like super loud. Somebody must be walking past this apartment with their dogs too. Okay, so lastly we had the date between Clifton and Joy. Like I said, she pretty much giggled through the whole thing until they got serious and talking about her father and her relationship with her father. I guess he did not have an allergy to whatever was in the food. He said if it's real coconut, then he probably, start sweating and things of that nature. But if it's fake coconut, he'd be all right. He said it don't matter. As long as his heart don't stop beating, he's going to sit here and have this date with Joy. It sounds to me like this cast is not dating outside of their contract. They probably will later on. They probably will loosen up and start dating. But it seems like everybody's actually listening to their contracts and waiting for the actual dates. However, they are still talking to one another on the phone. So now we go to Deliberations. We get to find out who liked who said what, and things like that. Basically, at the top, Precious is really into Paul. AP likes Demetrius. Dakia said her top two is Demetrius and Cliff, but she was really feeling her some Eric. Joy, of course, is in love with Clifton. Ace says Laverne is the bee's knees. When she said that, I said, I know that girl high. She stay high. Can't make me believe she ain't. He calls her all the time. They talk all the time. He makes her feel giddy. Laverne is who Ace is feeling. Carmen said Clifton. How about them apples? Clifton said that he couldn't fuck with her because of her baby blue Jesus eyes. And he look over that though. I'm telling you, if you got an eyeball in the middle of your forehead or a third titty in the middle of your chest, a dude still will fuck you. And Clifton was all like, I saw what she was trying to throw at me. She was trying to give me this vibe, this, and another, but that ain't, I wasn't taking that bait. But here she is saying that you her number one person in Deliberations. And Joy sitting there looking confused, like, really? Where that happened? Joy wasn't smiling and giggling and laughing then. She wasn't smiling and giggling and laughing when Dakia said that Clifton was in her top two. Because I think as of right now, Joy has pretty much eliminated everybody other than Clifton too. Like she's vibe with Laverne, but not on a romantic level. She thought Clifton was good, not on the romantic level. She thought Eric was like refreshing, but still, Clifton is the only one who got her eye. Who else we got? But yeah, Carmen said that Clifton makes her feel safe. He makes her laugh. Yeah. And then for Sabrina, Demetrius was her top. Since we haven't seen her really interact with Demetrius, it's amazing to me that she has this. But again, she said she has a lot of conversation with him outside of what we've seen on TV. Same thing that Laverne said, Ace says about Laverne. So who they don't like? Clifton. Don't nobody feel him. They ain't nobody romantically involved with him. Nobody has said it's because he's not ready for a relationship. You can clearly tell that. But yeah, they don't like Clifton, and she doesn't like. They didn't like Paul because they think Paul is guarded. Paul is not guarded. That's not what guarded is. I think Sabrina may have said it best. Paul is, I ain't gonna say too intense. He lacks fun. He lacks vulnerability. But like I said, Precious thinks that's what she needs in her life, so she wants to fight for him. So they had their deliberations at the end, you know. Joy sat down with Clifton and told Clifton, you know, what the ladies thought about him. And Precious sat down and told Paul what the ladies thought about him. And Paul basically said, look here, if these ladies don't like who I am, that's them. They need to work on themselves. If they can't appreciate a real dude, because I'm a juggernaut, yada yada this, yada yada that. And she's like, ooh, oh, okay. He was talking about somebody specific there. They just didn't show it to us. Probably Sabrina. But yeah, Paul feels like, you know, he's the bee's knees, and if these ladies can't get with it, then they are the ones with the issue. They are the ones with the problem. And I'm sitting here thinking, Precious, they don't give you red flags. They don't set you off any kind of way. Well, Clifton ended up going home. They removed him. I agreed, but I also thought this should have been a double elimination. Paul and Clifton. Not Clifton. Cornelius. Clifton need to go too. I ain't feeling Clifton. I'm not feeling none of these dudes. I swear for goodness. But Cornelius, I apologize that I kept calling him Clifton through this whole thing. Cornbread. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all watched the episode. Cornelius was the perfect one to leave. However, Paul should have left too. It should have been a double elimination. Who else is Precious vibing with? Nobody else is giving her the old man daddy vibes. I don't know. Yeah, that's the end of the episode, y'all. That's the recap and review. Ain't gonna be no editing. Ain't gonna be no fancy little thumbnails and shit. Like, it might be a fancy little thumbnail, but ain't gonna be nothing else. Y'all subscribe if y'all want to. I'll talk to you again in another video. Peace.